Kathleen wanted to be here, but she can't be in two places at the same time. So if
Uh,
she's
What?
recording,
What? She can't be in two places at one time? What?
I
What's
know.
wrong with her?
What's wrong with me? I haven't figured it out either, but that's probably a good thing.
You actually can if you're on two Zoom meetings. You kind of can, but it's confusing. I've tried to do that and it doesn't work out too well.
No.
No, because you get feedback. You have to be careful
Yeah.
what you do with your microphones.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's tricky. I used to have to do it when I was teaching during COVID from my house. I had to put two screens in. There was a way to do it so you didn't get feedback, but I forget it now.
I have enough problems doing one thing at a time. Two things at a time wouldn't work for me.
That's not
Yeah.
true. You do it all the time.
No.
They say that even when you're doing more than one thing, you're really only doing one thing at a time because your attention's really only on one thing for
Right.
And
like
you're
a second.
switching back and
Yeah.
forth.
Well,
Yeah.
I can multitask, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah. Well, good. That's good. That's a good thing to be able to do. So, so it is being recorded. Okay. Jen was dance. She seems to have a lot of dancing classes that that gives her a lot of joy, and it happens on Saturdays a lot. So,
Yeah, she really seems to get a lot from doing the dancing.
did you guys get an email from me today? Because Maria Cattell, who used to be the clerk for FQA way back when, said that it wouldn't load for her. But did you get one from me this morning?
I did.
Okay.
Yes,
And I
Okay.
used that link to get in. So,
we use the same link for everything.
yeah.
Yeah. Except board meetings, I think is a different one.
Board meetings is a different one.
And who are the other publisher writers that are talking today?
So there's Blair, Alice, and you two, and also John David has experience publishing but didn't submit anything. His comment was the greatest hindrance to successful self or boutique publishing is marketing, which we're not focusing on today. That would probably be a separate session.
That's a whole nother session.
Yeah.
And one that Alec and I are not good at.
That's right. We can use
Mhm.
that.
It's the hardest part, right? I'm gonna go get my phone in case I had given my number in case somebody can't get on.
So tell me a little bit about you, Sarah. I don't remember seeing you on these before.
You are muted. You need to unmute. Sarah, unmute.
Yeah, she's finding it.
Yeah.
Should be at the bottom left of your screen,
There
the
you go.
little microphone. There you go.
Um, I mean, the only thing I've published is Law Enforcement Officer's Manual. And I know my meeting said, what is a Quaker doing that? I'm saying, who better to like
Right,
do the research and find ways to sort of show, see, even the courts say people have rights.
exactly. It's like when South Africa appointed a Quaker to be Assistant Secretary of Defense. Who else would you want in a role making decisions about the military?
Yeah.
So
So,
Mike, I didn't send out, I sent to you and Bonnie what people had sent me as far as but I didn't send it out ahead of time because I was
yeah,
thinking maybe it would be better to hear from people first and then tell them, like before they talk, we have most of this written down or some of it written down already that we will send you after.
yeah, I thought what we do is go around and ask people if they have things that they have plans to publish and what questions they would like answered today. And we'll just go around and collect those questions, and that way we can focus the discussion on the questions. And I thought we'd go question by question rather than asking Gabby and Alec to share their experience, and then Alice, and then Claire and John, but instead get everybody's perspective on each thing as we went along.
That sounds
What-
good to me, Mike.
Yeah.
However you want to do it, we'll just follow whatever the lead
Well,
is.
we're very eager to draw on your experience because most of us here are relative newcomers to the idea of publishing, and there's a lot to it that I know somebody who has experience can help us avoid pitfalls that newcomers often make.
Yeah, and we had one other workshop on publishing, but it was just led by one person. And, this is a learning curve, and we got something out of it, but I feel like this time maybe we're more organized as far as specific questions and things that people are looking for, because I couldn't remember a lot about what we talked about actually. And this was like a year ago.
It was longer than that. It was closer to
Was
2
it?
years, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and I think this is a topic that's worth revisiting.
Mhm.
The things
Well,
are
the
changing.
technology changes so fast that,
Indeed, it does.
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to welcome Nate and Jesse, but welcome. Glad you could join us.
Thank you.
And Anna?
Hi.
Hi, Anna. And is this your first time with us?
Yes, I'm a new member. I thought I just, sorry, I'm not set up very flattering for,
That's okay. That's okay.
yeah, I'm a new member of this group.
Nice.
Well, we welcome
Welcome.
newcomers. Newcomers are what brings lots of energy to this group.
Since I can't change my name, if somebody
Oh,
could,
sorry, I'll do it.
yeah, because Alec is here, and so we're
Yeah, you're a team.
usually have been for
50 years.
53 years.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabby, you can rename yourself.
Oh, great, thank you.
Only since 1973.
Right.
I think you're a very brave team because you let Gabby edit you, Alec. She's your wife, and I don't know if that's good or bad or indifferent, but it's brave.
It works out.
It works. He critiques my art, so. And I used to critique his when he was painting.
At least you'll probably be honest.
Yeah, don't always agree, but. That's,
Well, it's important to have somebody who has a different perspective. And if somebody looks at everything the same way you do, then you're going to get an echo. So welcome to Claudia, Rachel, Maria, and Alice. We're glad you're here. This is our Fellowship of Quakers in the Arts Writers session on publishing. And I thought today we'd start by going around and asking each person to briefly say whether they have plans for publishing in the near future and what questions they have about publishing. So I'm going to be arbitrary and go in the order in which people joined this session. So, Gabby and Alec, do you have any questions about publishing?
yes, all the time. And I'm very curious to hear what other people's experiences are and questions are.
Great. Bonnie, do you have questions about publishing?
I have absolutely no idea how to do it other than I put together a couple of books of poetry that were just for family. And I did it through Motif Photos, the Apple
Mm-hmm.
thing, and did, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 copies for family. But that's not publishing.
Okay, great. Okay, Ariane and John, welcome. We're going around just mentioning very briefly whether we're planning to publish in the near future and any questions we have about publishing. Anna, do you have any plans to publish or questions about publishing?
Gotten articles published that I've written, and I have no immediate plans, but I worked for the artist George O'Keeffe, and there have been many different books that people have, remembrances, and I've been toying with the idea of writing that, and I might be able to find a regular publisher, but I am interested in learning more about self-publishing. I know marketing is the key, but anyway, that's another topic.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sarah.
Yes, I have been helping Rachel Carey Harper with, she has several manuscripts, and so she wanted me to be here to take good notes and learn lots of stuff.
Okay, very good. Doris Pallone, do you have
Hi,
plans
here
to
from-
publish in the near future or any
Yeah.
questions you'd like answered in this session?
I'm about halfway done with my first book on my connection with birds in the front yard, and I'm planning to self-publish, and I'm not doing it really to make a lot of money or anything, just to have a nice book to give to friends and family and bird lovers and people that might want to learn about my connection. So I'm looking for, a way to publish that's not extremely expensive.
Okay, cool. Jesse, do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would especially like answered during this session?
Hi, friends. I have a finished manuscript that I have been sitting on for a couple years because I can't seem to write the cover letter that goes along with submitting my manuscript to publishers. I can't get it right. I'm overwhelmed by it. So that's where my questions lie. And what tips or strategies do you have for approaching publishers through the written format? Yeah, that's my question.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. Nate, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would especially like to have answered?
Yes, I've been thinking about publishing. In the past, I've done some self-publishing just basically for the reasons that Doris was mentioning. But now I hope to not help out Amazon or use Amazon if I can avoid it. So really, I don't know anything about going through a traditional publisher. I'm just curious about how that would even go.
Great. Claudia, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would especially like answered in this session?
Yeah, I am about 1/3 through my first draft of a novel. I have been taking classes on query letters and finding agents and things like that because I do plan to at least try traditional or small press publishing. My experience is in getting my short stories published in various literary journals.
Great. Thank you, Claudia. Next up is Rachel. Rachel, do you have any plans to publish in the near future or questions you would especially like answered during this session? You've got to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I just saw that. As Sarah mentioned, I do have several manuscripts. One is she's helped incredibly with the editing and that sort of thing. So it's pretty much ready to go. At least one is, and then several others in various states of completion. And so the question is, now what do I do?
Great. And next up is Alice Carlton. Welcome, Alice. Do you have plans to publish in the near future or any questions you would especially like answered during this session?
Well, I have self-published 2 novels, and I'm here to share my experience. I don't have immediate plans to publish anymore. It's a long journey.
Very good. Thank you, Alice. Maria, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would like particularly answered?
Yes, I have completed manuscripts for what I call a family food memoir, which is about living on a farm in Pennsylvania many years ago. And it'll be 2 volumes. One will be a cookbook. I'm just doing it for my family and friends, like somebody who already spoke. But I don't know where to go from here. So I really want to know what to do to self-publish that won't deplete all my savings.
Very good. Bob, welcome. And
thank you.
You're up next.
Okay. Yes, I have written poetry for over 40 years, and a number of the poems seem to be quite impactful with people that I've shared them with, and I would like to publish them through a traditional publisher. I have experience with self-publishing, but I want to go the traditional publishing route. And I also have a private memoir that I'm considering adapting for wider distribution, and then also perhaps some writing on social concerns. I am a writer by nature. I've published a number of books in the technical field, but the broader field is unknown to me, apart from self-publishing, and so I'm looking to get as much information as I can of a concrete nature.
Great. Thank you, Bob. Rosa, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would like answered during this session?
Yes, I'm in the same place as Nate. I've published 3 books on Amazon, and it's a lot of work for a readership of 10 people. So I'm looking, my primary question is, how do I find people who I trust? Because I've heard horror stories from other writers.
Thanks, Rosa. Next up is Curtis. Curtis, welcome. And tell us if you have plans to publish in the near future or any questions you would especially like answered during this session. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Yes. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
So the first question is, do you have any plans to publish in the near future? And secondly, are there any questions you'd especially like answered during this session about publishing?
Yeah, this is an area that I have no experience in. And so that's why I'm here, just to hear what about the process, trying to understand editing and publishing. I know they're both different, but so just understanding what the challenges may be to publishing.
Great. Thank you, Curtis. Next up is Ariane. Ariane, tell us if you have plans to publish in the near future and questions you would especially like answered in this session.
Thank you. Yes, I have a completed manuscript that's taken about 10 years of research and writing and is now in the tedious process of being edited and fact-checked and citations checked and all of that stuff. And I'm antsy. You know, it feels like it's taking forever. I thought I would write the book and it would be published the next day. And, and that's not the case. So,
Rats.
yes. So, my husband, John, who's also on the screen here, has a small publishing company. And so he's actually handling all of he and his, whoever he has working there, is handling all that niggly, awful stuff that comes afterwards. And so interestingly, I find myself kind of sad and empty now that there's nothing for me to do on the book.
That makes complete sense to me. John, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future? And are there any questions you would like answered in this session?
Yes, I have published one book on Amazon just to learn the process. It's just oddly enough a book of prayers, but I just published it just to see how the process went on Amazon. I have other books in the pipeline that I'm working on. I think the big question to me is marketing is the hard part, and finding the audience and outreach to the audience. This is what I'm working on for Ariane, because once we find the audience and we can reach them, that's who you market to. And as you know, I have not technically, I published one book, but it's really was for fun. So that's really what I'm looking for. Anybody's experience in marketing, outreach to readership, growing readership. That's what I'd like to hear about.
So our thought is that's another whole topic, and we're planning to devote another session in the near future to finding your audience and marketing to it, or them, as the case may be. Sandy Green, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish anything in the near future, and questions you would particularly like answered in this session?
I'm contemplating the prospect of writing my book and publishing. So I'm here to also learn about the process.
Very good. Thank you, Sandy. Chuck Fager, do you have plans to publish anything in the near future, and do you have questions you would like answered during this session?
Actually, I have a lot of experience with self-publishing with Amazon. I've been actually doing that I realize, almost 20 years. Before that, I had my first few books done through, let's call it the legacy mainstream industry. And one thing, I'll sneak in a thing here. One thing I learned, the marketing is no better in the mainstream side than it is in the self side, which is, maybe you got to do it yourself, unless you're Stephen King. So I'm interested in what's going on. I just recently published a book, and I don't have definite plans to publish next, but I'm probably going to. So,
it seems inevitable, Chuck.
As long as I can reach the keyboard or something.
Yeah. Thank you, Chuck. Lucy Julia, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future, and questions you would like especially answered during this session? You need to unmute yourself. It looks like there's more than just Lucy there. So you may have to tap your screen once and then go to the bottom left corner of your phone screen and tap on the microphone to unmute yourself.
Unless Bonnie as host can unmute her.
She can request it.
Oh, okay.
Why didn't you request they unmute, Bonnie? Oh, he unmuted. Gold star, you did it.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I'm doing this on my phone in my car because I was at a Juneteenth event. Okay. So I am planning to publish, I hope, a chapbook. I am essentially an artist, but with the kind of artist I am, because it's an activism, I'm an activism artist. I often have to write something, often a page that goes with something that goes to a review or it goes to an exhibit. So I realized that I have collected over the last, I started doing art again in around 2013 some. And I was immediately in the Chattahoochee Review, which is and I had to write some things that were literary somewhat, along with being the only artist in that. After that, I've not done that much. But what I wanted to do is I looked at my art, which is a lot of it's feminist. And when I looked at it, I realized that it could be used for something that, like a kind of chapbook that helps younger women, I'm 77, have a more of a feel for what used to happen for girls and women that was bad, that was gender discrimination, and so that sensitizes them to maybe we're headed back to some of that. Because an example is when I went to college at the University of Georgia, I had a list of supplies to bring. One was a knee-length, at least, raincoat, which you had to wear in Georgia in the summer. Anytime you wore any kind of pants, long pants, any kind of pants, you could wear a mini skirt, but if you wore pants, you had to wear a raincoat. I don't know why. I think it was to maintain feminine decorum. I'm not sure. But that kind of thing I'd like for young women to understand that that was the norm. There was a curfew. If you didn't get back in your dorm by 11, you could be expelled. If someone took you out, a guy, he might use that against you.
That would be very useful. And I'm wondering if you have any questions about publishing that you'd like answered.
About publishing. The only things I have published have been really art and not that much, but in a lot of exhibits. And I have many of these things, and I would like to now solicit from anybody anything that is something really odd in a believe it or not kind of way that happened to women because they were women some time ago.
Okay. Thank you, Lucy. Bernard, you're up next.
Okay, well, can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, good. Well, I was a little bit late getting in here and I still can't get my camera working.
That's
But
okay. We'll
yeah.
take you as you are. So do you have any plans to publish in the near future or questions you would especially like during this session, briefly?
Yes, I've been publishing for some years, at first through Amazon, until I found out that you're not supposed to go anywhere else when you're with them. So I do have another book that can be ready in the next couple weeks that I would like. I guess what's his name was saying, finding an audience and marketing, because my poetry is pretty much spiritually oriented, about the nature of reality, who we are beyond our physical form identities, and this goes into stuff like that. But it's poetry. It's all poetry, and this book's been done for a couple months. But the girl that formats my work had some medical issues, and so she had to delay until she said it would probably be done next week.
So I just want to alert you, Bernard, the marketing issues are another whole ball of wax.
Yes, I heard you say that. That's fine. This is
Yeah,
my first tune in, so I'm just gonna, I guess, listen.
That's okay. That's okay. You're welcome, like I say, as you are, and it may be that questions come up.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Parker, do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would like especially answered?
I do have ideas for several chapbooks because I've been writing a lot of poetry lately, but I'm not sure how near in the future it is. And a novel I've been working on that I don't know how. But really, the question is finding the motivation to make the next steps. What are the next steps I need to be doing? I've been enjoying working with a group called Poetry Global Network and learning about publishing on Ingram Spark. But yeah, I'm looking forward to any other information that comes forward here.
Okay, very good. Next up is Mitch. Mitch, do you have plans to publish in the near future and questions you would like especially answered in this session? You need to unmute. Bottom left corner, click on the microphone.
There we go. Hello.
You're
Hi.
good. You're good.
As you can see from my background, this is the banner for my trilogy about Walt Whitman's Quakerism. Fictional
Cool.
trilogy, but it's based on decades, 3 decades of independent research. And I've done everything. I built my website. I wrote the books. I had them edited. I've had help from AI. Did the illustrations. So yeah, I placed it with Ingram Spark, and that was crucial because I'm not counting on retail sales. I'm counting on at least initially sales to major institutions that are libraries. And the bookstores and the libraries do not deal with Amazon. They deal with Ingram.
Right.
So right now, all 3 books are trying to get through the last stages of approval for publication over at Ingram Spark. So I've been in the trenches.
Cool.
And I guess I could answer questions for other people.
Yeah, we may well draw on your experience in the course of this session, Mitch. Thank you for joining us. Lorraine, you're up next. Do you have plans to publish in the near future or questions you would like answered during this session?
Well, can you hear me?
We can.
Like Mitch, I've been in the trenches for quite a long while. My poetry and travel narratives appear in over 500 journals worldwide. I have 24 chapbooks and micro chaps of poetry published. Also, every month I self-publish in ebook format collections of my published poetry that I make available on my blog. And so I also have a blog, and every quarter, which means tomorrow, I do a quarterly roundup of my recent publications, and so they'll be available on my blog, Latin America Wanderer. I've also authored travel articles and travel guidebooks.
Yay. So we're assembling quite a group of experienced individuals that can help us in the course of this session. Thank you, Lorraine. Anna, do you have plans to publish in the near future or any questions you would especially like answered during this session? You'll have to unmute yourself. So if you're on a phone, you need to tap the screen, and then you'll see a microphone in the bottom left corner that you can tap.
Okay, got it. Sorry. I'm here twice, once on my phone and once I came in on my regular
Okay.
computer.
All right. So
I
we
did
already
introduce
got to
myself.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, very good. Sorry for the confusion.
Well, yeah, that happens. Thank you.
All right. So,
Bernard? Did we
We
Yes.
did get Bernard's.
Okay, sorry.
input.
I'm trying. Yeah, okay, sorry.
So
Sorry.
everybody has responded to our initial queries. It sounds to me like there are a bunch of people who just know nothing about publishing. They're just getting started wanting to publish their first thing other than self-publishing stuff. And then there's a group of people who have a finished manuscript or close to it and want to know what to do with it, and want to figure out how to find publishers they trust, or to find an agent and approach mainstream publishers. Does that cover the terrain, or have I left anybody's burning issues out?
Yeah, Bernard, there's those of us who are self-publishers, like me and Chuck, and then Lorraine, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I expect during the course
Mike,
yeah.
I would like to hear people who have done self-publishing on various platforms with what worked and what didn't.
Comparing the different platforms. Okay, so let me add that. And the way I would suggest we approach this is by going through the process of publishing step by step and get input from people who have experience. So on this session, we have Alec and Gabby, Alice, John, Chuck, Bernard, Mitch, Lorraine, lots of people with publishing experience. So let's start off with when you are in the process of drafting your writing, what should you be taking into account when you're thinking about publishing it for a broader audience rather than just for family, for example?
Bernard?
Go ahead.
I think I'd like to say something about the absolute foundation and bedrock of this whole publishing issue, and that is, I want to know whether everybody understands the concept of the attention economy. The attention economy is the competition for creative works out there in a field that is absolutely flooded with material, and going out looking for an audience among people who are distracted, they're busy, they're overburdened, they're being hit on all sides by competing entertainment products or educational products trying to vie for their attention. It's the attention economy. And so it's a very difficult question when you're going to give your work to the world. What you have to ask yourself, what is actually going to be able to compete?
So the question is, what will resonate to a particular audience or audiences? Is that it, Mitch?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, I think that we all would have to seek. You can't write for everyone, and so you really have to find your niche and understand what your fellow niche occupiers resonate with, and you have to focus on them and deliver for them. I think that's the first start. Yeah.
So that means studying your niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
This seems like a good discussion for when we're doing marketing too.
Yeah.
To think about that. I mean,
yeah.
I hope that today we don't have that long of a time. I hope that we can really get down to the nuts and bolts of how to get it published too.
So my next question is, how do you find an editor someone to help with design and layout. And does it make sense to take those, I mean, independently contract those, or to go to, say, a small publisher to do that? Alice.
Yes, I'll just tell you how I did it. And I'm in North Carolina, and we have a very good organization, the North Carolina Writers Network, and they have workshops and conferences. And I was completely starting from scratch when I started to go there, and I found out there was a lot I didn't know. They had a manuscript mart, they called it, you could sign up for, where you met with an agent and they looked at a little bit of your stuff and gave you advice. Well, what I learned was writing a query letter was something to learn about. And it was a little bit more to it than I knew. So I learned how to write a query letter. And with my first novel, I decided to just send
So
out
a
query letters.
query letter is intended for potential agents or publishers. Is that
For an
correct, Alice?
agent, yes. And what I understood was in traditional publishing, you want an agent who will then take your manuscript to publishers. Anyway, I sent out a bunch of them. I got, over 100. And I got some no response and some like little form letters saying, this is very nice, but it doesn't fit my list. Occasionally I got, oh, this is a strong project, but not for me to this time. And don't give up. So I did that for over 100 and started to think maybe this isn't the way to go. And I decided I wanted to get some professional eyes on my manuscript. So I have a writer friend who directed me to a website called darlingaxe.com, axe. And I got a developmental editor through them who was very, very good. And she charged by the word, so it was a little bit of a cost. But she went through my manuscript like 4 times and put comments, and then she wrote a final report covering dialogue, plot, voice, all of that. And I learned a lot, and it was very, very helpful. And she was very, very nice. I mean, I felt like she was a friend and a supporter. So then, I had a lot of revising to do after what she said. So I went through all this and finally decided. I was in a writers group, which has sort of died now, but we were together about 10 years, and somebody in the writers group decided to self-publish. So I followed his example. And so I hired a designer, a copy editor, and a tech consultant who would put it up for me because I didn't think I wanted to do that. And that's how I got published. Then the whole marketing is a very different question. But it's cost me a good bit to do all of that. And I did publish on Kindle Direct Publishing, Amazon, and on Ingram Spark, because in all this process, all these workshops I was going to, I learned that Ingram Spark will self-publish, and libraries and bookstores will use them. And anyway, that's my story. It was a long, long process. Then one other thing to share, again, through the North Carolina Writers Network, I attended a workshop on promotion. A lot of this was on Zoom, so it was easy to do. And that led me to hire Author Bytes to create a website for me. And alicecarlton.com, you can check it out.
Okay, thank you, Alice. I'd be interested to hear from John or Gabby and Alec. What's the advantage of going to a small publisher to get help preparing your manuscript for publishing?
Miss Gabby and Alec, I don't know if I can exactly answer that. I'll see if Alec wants to comment, but we are a small publisher. We started in, let's see, Alec finished his first novel in 2002 and couldn't find an agent. 2000, sorry. And couldn't find an agent or publisher, and I'll let him talk about that. But the one agent that my mother sent him to because she knew this semi-famous agent sort of read his novel and wrote back and said, because it was set in the South, there is no such thing as cypress knees. At which point Alex said, I'm not going to deal with her because she doesn't know what she's talking about. And so he kept trying, and then we discovered there was such a thing as print on demand and decided to go with that, and first published his first novel with Ex Libris, which I don't even think exists anymore. And then we've used Lulu and KDP and Ingram Spark. Lulu, we've discovered, is great if you don't want to sell your novel or your book on Amazon or in any kind of commercial way, because they don't insist on you having an ISBN. So we've used it for people who do things like a book of poetry and art for someone's memorial, or we did a 200-page or more genealogy book that somebody had been working on for 20 years that she just wanted to give to family members. It's great for that, or at least it has been. But KDP and Ingram Spark, and we've gone to Ingram Spark from KDP, you have to have an ISBN. Whether you're going to use it or not, you have to have one. And one question that's important to answer is, the ISBN is that code bar. And the two choices are, are you going to have your own ISBN that you own, or are you going to have one that they give you? Both KDP and Ingram Spark will give you a free ISBN number. But if you take their free one, which we've done, then it has to be with them. So if you do KDP, you can't put it on Ingram Spark with the same ISBN, which means you wind up with two different books. And that means if you have both, they both go on Amazon if you're selling through them, which can be really confusing for writers. If you buy your own, which I believe they are, if you buy one, I think it's $75 or maybe $125. You can use it on either one. They don't control that. If you're a publisher, you can buy 10 for cheaper, or you can buy 10 and if you're going to write, Alec has published 12 novels and 2 books of art criticism. So we do the bulk buying now instead.
Great.
Before we go on, can I just remind people, or maybe they don't know, that Alec and Gabby and Alice Carlton and Blair, who's not here, have provided us with a PDF of their experiences. So I didn't send that out yet, but we will be sending it out to everybody. So, you should still take notes and stuff, but the main things you'll get.
Yeah, I didn't put anything on the ISBN numbers in what I wrote because I just didn't think of it when we were writing what we talked about. But anything else?
Well, I think the question we had, or that was asked of us, is why did you decide to go with self-publishing and publishing your own books and others? And the reason is simply that it's almost impossible to get a traditional publisher. I think you have all experienced that. So I started self-publishing for simply that reason, that I could not get an agent or a traditional publisher.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference in getting publishers that are from universities than other publishers, private publishers?
I have never worked with a university press, so I don't know for sure.
There are different classes of university presses. So there's the main university press, like University of Texas Press. And then there are small publishers associated with a university, and they function, as you might expect, differently. The smaller ones are like a regular small publisher, and the larger ones are more like mainstream publishers. John, I'm wondering if you have any insight to add to what Alice, Gabby, and Alec have offered on like this initial bit of preparing your manuscript for publishing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. My background is that I was a graphic designer. So for me this was not challenging, but I know when you look through all the steps, it's quite challenging if you don't understand the multiple steps. I have been very successful using people off Upwork, and I know people have mentioned other things here. I don't know if anybody's tried Upwork. But the real challenge is to know what you need on each step, and so that you don't have to do it yourself. Cover design, interior design of the page, how to prepare the page properly. The PDF that goes, the published PDF on KDP is different than published PDF on Ingram Spark. So a lot of mistakes that you can make. But for me, I would, because I want to do everything myself, I don't want to hire someone to do these things for me. But the trick is to know what you need to have done and then find someone to do it. And Upwork is a good place if you know what you need. I found really good people who know how to use InDesign, for example, to create the interior of a book or a cover. But that is really, to hire someone to do it, you're probably going to not get the best people because you have to know what you need to have done. And just the production of a book is not complicated, but it's multifaceted, multi-steps. You can make a lot of mistakes along the way that make your book look terrible, particularly cover design. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, Mike, or if you have something more specific. Or
that's really helpful.
John, could you repeat the two platforms that you mentioned?
I love Upwork. Upwork is great. They have really good people. Upwork, UP work, it's upwork.com.
Okay.
The trick is that you just practice. Has anybody used Fiverr? I used to use Fiverr a lot, but you have to be very clear about what you want with Fiverr. Fiverr is really quite good, but not for designing the inside of a book. But the thing about Upwork is that you have to really make a very clear description of what you want them to do for you. And have they published on KDP? Have they published on Ingram Spark? Do they use InDesign? Because InDesign is the only thing that you want a professional to use. So I've had really good luck with that. I'm using them right now to format because I know InDesign sort of, but I don't want to learn to InDesign anymore. So I'm having two people actually create the inside of Arian's books from Upwork.
Alice.
Upward. I just wanted you to put that in the chat. Is it?
Oh yeah, I'll put it in the chat. I'm sorry. I'll do it right now.
Upwork.
Because I couldn't tell what you were exactly saying. Work. Upwork.
Yes.
Upwork as in work, but I'll put it in the chat.
Could we save the chat?
Yes, we'll have Bonnie do that at the end. Chuck, do you have anything to chip in here? He's working on, there, you're unmuted.
Yes, I want to flash a book here. This is a book. It's called Murder Among Friends. It's a mystery. I wrote it in 1999. I wrote 120 query letters to agents for this book. 120. No bites. I ended up self-publishing. In 1999, that was a big deal. Totally different from the way it's done now. And it actually sold out. I mean, I had to print 1,000 copies, have boxes stacked up in the hallway and the closets and stuff, and they actually sold out. I ended up making money. I mean, a couple $100 on the whole deal, an hourly rate of about 75 cents an hour, something like that, for all the labor. And that was self-publishing then. I did, and I learned from agents I did work with, um, publishing a book. This was said by people who run, Random House, the big publishers too. Publishing a book is like buying a lottery ticket. A few of them pay off, and some of them, pay off really big. If your name is Stephen King and stuff, but most of them don't. Most published writers, not wannabe writers, most published writers have day jobs because you don't make you even if your book is published and even if some people buy it, most writers do not make a living at it. That's just the truth of the matter. I got into working with Amazon early on. I've worked with them about 20 years. I have done a number of projects with them where I did everything. It's a lot of work. You can do that, but you don't spend a lot of money. And it maybe doesn't look as professional as it might, but you're buying lottery tickets. And we haven't heard this term. The last project I did, which just came out about a month ago, there was a tech person that I worked with some. I paid her a bit to do a bit of work. And then you know what I shifted to? Magic words. AI. Chat GPT. Put that book together. It and me. We're at the beginning of a whole new stage.
That's another subject. That's a whole big subject.
Better put that on the list. It ain't going away. Put it on the list. That cost me, the tech person, I get a good rate from her because I've been with her a long time, off and on. About $30 an hour. That's pretty low for the work she does. ChatGPT, I get 24/7 service. 3 o'clock in the morning, I could go do something. $20 a month. And if I had paid the tech person for all the work that ChatGPT did for me, it would have been couple $1,000. And, she does quality work, but the difference between that and AI is a big thing, and it's coming.
So I'll make one comment on that, and that's that the output from large language models is unreliable. So by that, I mean that it may go along giving you really good spell checking, grammar checking, layout and stuff for quite a while, but then there are going to be glitches that you need somebody who is either an experienced in the field or a professional in the field to check the work. You cannot rely on it alone. And one thing Alice pointed out in what the written material you're going to get is that some platforms, print-on-demand platforms, are very leery of anything produced by AI. And if they suspect it's produced by AI, they will reject it.
I think, like I said, I have 5 books I've been reading on rating and AI, and that's a whole different subject because I don't think it's 100% bad or good. And I just think it's a whole different conversation because it's very complicated and it can be useful, but it can be very detrimental too.
So I'd like to go back and address the question of, so it seems to me there are 2 ways I've seen people get a deal with a mainstream publisher. One is they build up a track record of publishing articles or essays or pieces in journals, or they have a big following on social media. And they use that as a way of demonstrating to the agent or mainstream publisher that they're a good lottery bet. And I'm wondering if people on this session who have experience publishing in that way have insight to give us about it.
One thing I would like to say, I mentioned it in the comments, is that there are different types of publishing. There is all of the rigmarole with getting a book published, but it all depends on your genre. And if you're going for books, or if you're going for magazine publishing, being published in magazines, or any other kind of outlet. Right now, the focus seems to be on books, but there's many other types of publishing out there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'm in a few writers groups and they were talking about publishing to writers journals, and there's contests all the time, Reader's Digest, Writers Digest, $1,000 for the first, second, and third. I mean, there's where I think most people here are concerned with books, maybe, but don't discount other publishing.
When Alec and I met in 1973, we worked for an organization where we published an alternative weekly newspaper in New York City, and then we moved to his hometown in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and published the same thing there, and eventually changed it to a quarterly called Mississippi Arts and Letters, which was a literary and visual art and literature magazine we did for about 2 years, and we were named as one of the 100 best fiction markets by Writers Digest months before we went bankrupt. And it was not a way to make a lot of money. We weren't really expecting to. We had other things we were doing to bring in the little bit we needed. But they did that partly because we actually wrote real letters back to people who submitted essays and fiction and all, rather than just sending a form letter. And it was, when we rejected something, we wrote a real letter. We didn't just send a form letter. And we paid our fiction writers a whole $25. But this was in 1982 or 4. And one of the cool things that came out of that is that now those magazines are archived in the University of Mississippi archives, which just happened a couple of years ago. So, it's something we're really proud of having done and learned a lot by doing it, but we certainly didn't make a lot of money from it and didn't really expect to.
Right. So the next question I'd like to ask is, how would people compare Kindle Direct Publishing, Ingram Spark, Lulu, and other print-on-demand services? One thing Gabby talked about was the Lulu lets you publish without an ISBN, for example. Ingram Spark is the one through which it has nearly a monopolistic hold on libraries and institutional purchasing, as well as many bookstores. And Kindle Direct has a stranglehold on Amazon. So I'm interested in thoughts about that.
Kindle Direct is owned by Amazon.
Right.
And you can publish through, you can sell on Amazon through Ingram Spark, but one of the things that retail markets, according to Ingram Spark, they expect a 55% discount on your book. So when you sell through Kindle, sorry, through Ingram Spark on Amazon, you can do less than 55%. They say not less than 40, but you have to set your retail price big enough that you don't wind up having to pay them to sell your book, which is something you really have to take into account when you're setting your retail price. But you can also order your books at their cost plus shipping and taxes, and then sell them yourself or get local bookstores to put them in, which they have their own deal with. I think locally here it's like 40% that the local bookstores expect of your retail price. It's just stuff you have to take into account when you're publishing.
In the chat, Claudia posted Draft to Digital, which is another service that helps with self-publishing. Does anyone else have comments comparing the different print-on-demand services?
I've used both the past few years, and just some differences. Ingram Spark has changed a couple things in the past couple of years to where they're a little more user friendly. But in general, KDP was real user friendly, like kind of plug and play, like if you're a beginner and stuff. And also through KDP, I think you're more likely to show up as like preferred, like people can get free shipping with Prime or whatever. But Ingram Spark, you'll also show up on like Target.com, Walmart.com, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like Ingram Spark is almost like trying to use Amazon's playbook and catch up. So they're pretty similar in a lot of ways now. Like Ingram Spark is free now, where you used to have to pay for updates and changes. And now it's like a little less picky about the formatting of the PDF that you submit. So they're fairly similar now. The main thing I like about Ingram Spark is that like you're not as much directly supporting and working with Amazon, but that's just kind of like a personal scruple, you know.
I'd like to recommend a book. This is a book that I was given. It was written in 2024, updated in 2025, self-publishing for new authors. You can see I've got a lot of tabs in it, so there's a lot of good information in it.
So maybe we'll include that in the material we'll send out.
I don't want to jump in too much, but one other thing with Ingram Spark is that when it's available on Ingram Spark, they will give you a link where you can send it directly or post it on your website. And they will also give you a code if you have a website that you can embed on your website, which gives people a direct link and a QR code so that people can buy directly from Ingram Spark at their cost plus shipping and taxes. So you make a lot more money if you're trying to make anything by people buying directly through Ingram Spark than through anything that they would do, like sending to Amazon and other things.
I will note my brother-in-law published his first book of poetry using a small publishing house that didn't deal with Ingram Spark because they were so monopolistic and predatory. And the problem was none of the libraries would purchase his book because they all went through Ingram Spark. So even he went to the Iowa Writers Workshop in graduate school, but Iowa University would not buy his book because they couldn't get it through Ingram Spark. So for his second book, he went through a small publisher that did deal with Ingram Spark, and he has taken it on himself to reach out to libraries and bookstores around the country. And that's part of the marketing discussion. So I'm wondering if there are particular thoughts that people have about if you want to move mainstream, what should you be doing to prepare to move mainstream? So one thing Mitch mentioned was find your niche and write to your niche. Are there other things that you can do that will, query letters have come up, like writing a query letter is a skill and there's a lot to it. So how do you find out to write a good query letter? Alice mentioned her writers group that she turned to.
I also subscribe to Writer's Digest, and they've had various articles about query letters. But I think going mainstream, you got to have an agent. I mean, that's the point of a query letter, is to try to get an agent.
Right, right.
Writer's Digest also has some classes that you can take online. How to write a query letter, how to put together a submission package, because you'll need a synopsis, and a synopsis has a literary synopsis has specific parameters that you need to meet. And how many pages might the agent ask for? They usually ask for between the first 10 to 50 pages that need to be absolutely polished when you're looking for a traditional publishing agent.
Thank you, Claudia. In the chat, Mitch posted his sell sheet. How do you use that, Mitch?
Well, remember, we can only do so much with marketing. Marketing is like an infinite job. It would go on. You could allow it to go on forever. And once again, niche. It's the same idea with a niche. I felt like my trilogy really needs to be in institutional libraries before anywhere else. And so the sell sheet goes out with a little business card to addressed individually to acquisitions librarians at the biggest libraries around the country. So that's how I'm using it right now. Also, I am sending it out to some Quaker organizations and a Unitarian organization and some GLBT groups. So there's how I'm using my sell sheet.
Thank you, Mitch. So we should tuck that in our hats to add into our marketing discussion.
I think one of the key things is, I mean, besides this group, I'm a member of 3 other writing groups, 2 online and 2 in person and 1 other one online. And people have a wealth of knowledge, because they've been there, done that. So, and if you look up on, if you Google writing groups in your area, you're going to find a lot. And probably people have already done that. But Mitch, on a personal note, have you ever heard of Rocky Wilson from Camden? He plays Walt Whitman. He's been known as the poet laureate. He's a Quaker in Camden.
I have heard of him.
Okay.
Is he indeed a Quaker?
He is indeed. I mean, he goes to meeting. I don't know if he's
right. Okay. Right.
Joined, but I just went to his birthday party the other day, and I mean, personal contacts, I think, and it's sometimes you have 1 or 2 or 3 personal contacts, and they have 3 other ones. I mean, he would love to see your stuff. I can put you. I mean, I just think like joining groups, and now that we have online, I mean, there's a wealth of bird loving groups and rating groups, and you can just get so much information from them and people's experience.
If you could put me in touch with him, it'd be wonderful. Thanks.
Mike, I have a procedural type question.
Go for it.
This group is somewhat different from the group that usually shows up for our writing group, which means I don't necessarily have last names and emails for everyone. Are there people here who are not FQA members? If you're an FQA member, I can find your email easily.
And you don't have to be an FQA member to
You
be on
don't have to be an
online meetings.
FQA
Yeah.
member, but it means I can find your email.
So Claudia, if you could put your email in the chat, then Bonnie can pick it up and add it to our mailing list.
And Rosa and Ariane, I do not have your last names. If you could rename yourself with your last name, that will help me. I'm making a spreadsheet.
Or put it in the chat.
Please.
I'll
It's
put it in the
easier
chat.
it's easier if you rename yourself for me because I don't have to go looking so many places.
Or if that's too hard, Rosa, your last name is David, right?
Ariane's last
Yes,
name is
she
David.
says yes.
Yeah.
So Rosa Davis.
David. D-A-V-I-D.
Ariane's last name is also David.
Okay, let me go to my
There it
spreadsheet and
is.
fix that.
That confused me. I think I might have sent some emails to the wrong persons. John, you might not have got some of the emails. Ariane, I don't know. Rosa might have got it. I don't know. Sorry. Oh.
So I'm wondering if there are questions people have, excluding marketing here, that you'd like answered in this session that we haven't gotten to yet, or people who have experience relevant to what we've discussed that they haven't shared yet.
I don't want to say something about building a niche.
Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, this kind of overlaps with marketing, but I think it's sufficiently distinct. And permit me to tell you a little parable. Between my house and my next door neighbor, my late next door neighbor put a brick wall before I moved here. And you know how that brick wall got built? One brick at a time. And that's also how you build a niche. My niche is writing about and to Quakers. I've been doing that for 40 some years. 40 some years. And I haven't reached them all, but it builds up. So that's how you build a niche. You start small, you start scattered, and if you're really meticulous, you keep records of everybody and build a mailing list. And it takes time and persistence. There's no membership fee. You don't have to have a degree or a license or an ISBN necessarily, but one brick at a time.
Thank you, Chuck.
Could we talk about the ISBN just for a minute? I'm a little confused. Because I've read a little bit about it and I know that if you get one from Amazon, then you have to use it on Amazon only. If you get one from this, but it doesn't cost that much. Someone mentioned, I think it was you, Alice, between $75 and $150 to get your own private ISBN number, so that can be used anywhere, right? Is that true?
Right. And it's Bowker. Let me find the URL that you buy from in the United States. There's another one in the UK,
Alcor identifier is 125 now.
Okay.
So could you put that in the chat or else spell it for us?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's BO. No.
I just remember I bought 10 of them and I don't remember it being that much.
It's not.
So I've only used a couple of them. So I've got bunches of them.
Right.
Wait.
So what was the name of the Balcom? I didn't get the name, or is it in the chat?
I think he put
Alcor
it in the
identifier.
Chat.
Yeah.
Alcor. I don't know how to spell that.
I'll put it
Nate put it in the chat.
Okay, thanks.
I think that's where I got mine. That looks familiar.
One thing about buying them bulk is it's attached to a name. So when Alec and I bought 10, it's attached to Mudflat Press. And we can sell some to someone else to use on their book, but then it's going to list it as Mudflat Press. So if we're going to publish somebody's book under our
Imprint.
imprint, sorry, brain thing, then that makes sense. But if we're going to help someone self-publish, it really doesn't, because it'll list us as their publisher. So it's just something to know.
Thank you, Gabby.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Bob.
Does anyone know if the original Create Space was more liberal than the current Kindle Direct? My impression is that it was. Many years ago, I helped a Quaker friend of mine self-publish his book. Um, and it originally went through Create Space, and it appeared from the terms of that contract that one could use alternate outlets, and that kind of reassured me. And I don't know if that is correct or not. I have not. I mean, my own conscience is pulling me away from Amazon or other places where there is monopolistic practices.
They're
Well,
much more difficult than they used to be when they were the other name, Create Space. When they changed, it became much more difficult even to upload covers. And I don't remember all the changes, but I'm a neophyte at this sort of thing, even though I have like 20 books on Amazon before I stopped. And it became much more difficult.
Okay, thank you for that input. I
Question. I have
noticed.
a question. So in regards to the ISBN, just for clarity, do you need, so if you do, a select book of poems, you do a memoir and you do another piece, do you need 3 different ISBNs? Is that what you're saying?
yes.
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 All right, thank you.
One
And
for
also,
each published work.
and if you do a hardcover and a paperback, you need 2 different ISBNs.
Or a digital, you need a third.
Right.
Hi, baby. Yes, I'm on a Zoom meeting.
I noticed in the chat there's a request for sort of multiple sessions that are smaller on more specialized topics. I think if there'd be some way to
I'll do that a little later.
oh, sorry.
What? Oh, got it. Got it.
So we're planning to have a follow-up session on marketing. And if there's interest in other specialized topics, other topics, we're open to those. So Doris would be a good person to shoot ideas to for future meetings.
Yes, as it has been, we've had about approximately once a month FQA Writers Meetings, and most of them have been like people sharing their writing work and getting feedback. 3 or 4 times a year we do a specialized one like this, but there's nothing to say. I mean, it's free. We have the Zoom account. I mean, as long as someone's willing to coordinate, there's nothing to say we couldn't do more than that and specialize on, focus groups. But yeah, if you have an idea and you want to definitely do a specific workshop on something, then you can email me at dpalone@comcast.net. And I'm co-clerk of FQA along with Bonnie Zimmer, whose email is sandbox33. Am I right, Bonnie? I should know it by now by heart. Sandbox33@gmail.com. We pretty much organize things, and Mike's been nice enough to lead our Raiders workshop sessions lately.
So, for example, we did a session on podcasting a while back.
Yeah, and we did a session on covers.
Right.
But, there's not to say that, I mean, there's plenty of knowledge to share. So it's just because I really want to do one on AI because as a writer, I'm a little, I want to talk to other people about my experience with that. And I'm not a big AI person, but I do use it for grammar and a little bit of clarity and, repetition, that kind of thing. But I would love a session on that too, and marketing for sure.
Is there a way to find out information about that podcasting one? Because I just started one.
We could have another one. I mean, it's been so long ago. I'm trying to
So,
remember.
so
Do any of you remember who did that one on
that was
podcasting?
Peterson Toscano. And
That was Peterson, yeah.
Was it recorded?
I don't think so.
I
but
see
will
people
look.
shaking their head.
Yeah, I'll double check though and see. And Peterson might be willing, and other people might be willing to do another one. It was a good workshop. It was a good discussion, I guess you would call it. So I
Yeah.
could ask him and other people. I mean, we can put these ideas down. Because
Great.
honestly, this is the most people usually when we just have a writers meeting, and which I think is very valuable. It's a little bit more intimate. It's like people share their writing, and some people want feedback, some people just want to share, but most people want feedback. It's usually about, would you say, 10 to 12 people.
And each person gets 10 minutes to read, 10 minutes for feedback.
Yeah, but I think that we do need some workshops to help. I don't know if this is a workshop, but discussions, I guess.
Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah. Having been with FQA for a long time, gee whiz, gosh, 20 people in the group. Oh, gee, what do we do now? Because we usually have 6 or 8 or 10. A word to my other longtime FQA folks, hey, do we want to have this kind of problem? Short answer is yes. The long answer is hell yes. We got 20 people want to come to this workshop.
25.
Especially, we need to do more of them like it. We need to do more of them like it. Gosh. And then we can maybe we have to subdivide and have a very specialized thing for people to read and share stuff.
Yeah, like we have a specialized poetry group now. Doesn't mean that people that are poets can't go on our usual writers groups that are once a month, but we have 3 or 4 people that are organizing a poetry group specifically. So why not?
So Jesse asked if we could do breakout groups on various questions.
That's a good idea.
I do know how to do great breakout groups, and I could show Bonnie how to do that.
Mike, do you need something other than the regular
No,
Pro Zoom
no.
account? You can do
You
it
have
with-
everything you need.
Okay.
So
I've never done that, so I don't know how.
I've done it many times. So my initial reaction to that is that often my experience is that there's a broad group of people who are interested in each question. So if you do breakout groups on particular questions, then people want to participate in more than one breakout room. But if we have 2 competing interests, so we have people who email Doris and say, I'm interested in this topic, and we do a poll and find out, okay, these 10 people are interested in this topic and these 10 people are interested in that topic. We could easily do a session on those 2 topics and have 2 breakout rooms and come back together and do a brief share of conclusions or results. That's very easy to do.
That sounds good. Just, feel free. I'm a person, I'm retired now, so I'm a person, unlike many people I found out now that don't get their emails at all because you get so much scam and you get so much other stuff. They don't even look at emails. But I do look at my email 3 or 4 times a day,
Doris doesn't have enough to do with her
I'm a
time.
very
So
busy
what
person.
she's doing
I'm a very
is
busy person, but I still
inviting
do.
us
But please
to
email
make
me.
more
I will
use of
respond
her
to you pretty
time.
quickly and say, Doris, it would be great if FQA could have a breakout group on this or that. I will respond to you within a couple days.
And she does. I'll verify that.
I know, you teased me about it. You're like, Doris, everybody knows your email.
Or a couple minutes sometimes.
I don't have your email, Doris.
I just want to say,
It's D
based on,
Palone,
Put
I
it
want
in
to
the
D
just say,
chat.
Palone. I'll
can
put
you
it in the
just put it in
chat.
the chat?
Just a minute, Curtis.
I just wanted to say that based on what you were just saying, that for me and my process of learning, I would prefer, you know, one question or query, as the Quakers say, or prompt or whatever, and then reflection, and then the next question, query, prompt, and a reflection, so that I benefit from both of them as opposed to just going to one group.
So we've got about 9 minutes here. And I'd be interested in hearing people's reaction to how you felt this session worked. Was the format we used with asking a couple questions at the beginning and then going through question by question helpful? Do you have ideas of what would have made this session more helpful?
I think for me, it would have been more helpful to email that to submit before this session rather than tediously going through us one by one.
Thank you, Bob.
What do you mean, Bob? Do you mean like the PDFs that the presenter, the people that had said they were going to talk about publishing had put together for us, like gotten that beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Okay.
if beforehand we
Okay.
could have sent our questions rather than polling everyone.
Oh, your questions beforehand. Okay. Got it.
Yes, Anna.
I agree. Gosh.
So, turn off.
Perhaps in a poll, you can just put the questions in a poll for us, and then we could respond through it to those questions in a poll rather than everybody going around and giving a feedback. I think it took. I think some of the responses were great, but it just takes so long because of the number of people.
Right, right.
You mean
That's
like
a
a
great
Google
idea,
poll?
Curtis.
A Google poll, yeah. Just
Okay.
have the questions that he asked in a poll, and then we can give it to you in the chat or whatever, however that works. And then you can go on with the other stuff that you talked about where the people were sharing their experiences, which was real helpful.
Yeah, because we have come to the conclusion that an hour and a half is plenty of time. You know, we used to have 2-hour writers meetings and people started to lose it after 90 minutes. I mean, it's a long time on a Saturday or we don't always have them on Saturday, by the way. So we might put in the poll, what's good for you? Like, is weeknights better or Saturdays better?
Yeah, there are a couple platforms for doing polls. So we could set that up both for meeting times and for questions people have ahead of time. One thing that we found particularly helpful in the past is if people share with us ahead of time in PDF format what they're going to read or present. And that gives people a chance to read it and then reflect on it before the session. So, Anna, do you want to try?
Anna wanted to talk and was
I
trying to
know.
get unmuted.
And the problem is she's signed in on 2 devices, so that's why there's an echo. But try again, Anna.
Hi, is this better?
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hi, sorry about that. I just wanted to agree with the first suggestion that if we could eliminate that long rigmarole at the beginning and somehow get the questions and introductions more concisely, we'd have more time to talk. This has been very helpful. It exceeded my expectations. I enjoyed this, my first session with you all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that suggestion. We love suggestions. We take them to heart.
And we love like meeting and seeing all your faces.
Yeah.
I mean, we're FQA members, but this is what we want to do. We want to connect because you're not going to, why have a group if we can't connect and support and educate and help each other?
I see.
I'd
And
like to,
Alice?
I just like to suggest that people put their location by their name. I'm just curious to know where everybody is.
Did I see your hand, Sandy? You need to unmute.
Well, how would you do that?
I was agreeing with what Alice had just said. I think that would be helpful to know
So
where.
if you hover over your picture in the session, there are 3 dots at the top. Click on the 3 dots. No, you can't do it there.
Yeah, I did it. I did
There's
it.
a rename.
Yeah.
Rename.
Yeah.
Yep. And rename yourself.
Lorraine, I hope you're listening because you are far, far away.
My pronouns are thee and thou.
Oregon.
Stole
Wow.
that from me, Mitch. Can I make a comment?
Yes, please, Chuck.
If we had done this 25 years ago, very, very few of us would have any chance to get our projects between covers. The book industry, publishing industry the legacy publishing industry is a very gated community and very hard to get into. But now, every project I've heard described here can be put between covers. It's at your, not exactly fingertips, but there's stuff you have to learn. There are not any those huge gatekeepers. You can't make people buy them and read them necessarily, but just about everybody on this group session can get their project between covers if you want to. And that's a big, big change from what it would between the time I published that mystery novel 30 years ago myself. Anyway, that's a big change. And it's a good, if you want your book published, things are better. Not necessarily easy, but a whole lot better.
Especially with the demand, you don't have to buy like you did, Chuck, in the beginning. You had to buy what, 1,000 copies of your book? And probably some of them are still sitting in your basement. And you don't have to do that now.
One suggestion I have is to make specific in the announcement for the meeting about what the focus is going to be, because I had no idea the focus was going to be on book publishing and not other types of publishing.
Haven't you been getting the emails from me, Lorraine?
Yes.
But it didn't mention book publishing. It said
I thought that it
publishing.
had pretty much in the subject on publishing, but we can talk about that. Email me, okay? I don't know why you didn't get that.
Well, the issue she's saying is she got that it's about publishing, but we've been talking about book publishing. We haven't been talking about publishing in journals or online or
more specific. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And, yes, it's interesting to be book publishing and everything else. Most of my books have been published by small press, not self-published. And most of this discussion not only has been on book publishing, but on self-publishing.
Right. That's true.
Okay,
and
thanks, Lorraine.
I'm not
that's
interested
helpful.
in that. And so, it's been nice to be in all of your company, but it's not something I'm particularly interested in this moment.
Well, I'm sorry, Lorraine, and we'll take your feedback to heart and try to be more specific in the future.
And we love having you with us because I know it's hard to get online where you're at. You have to go through a lot of things to get online, right? I mean, half the time you can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because not every country has great internet. And I know a lot of places in the US also doesn't have great internet.
So I'd like to summarize what I've taken as the feedback here and make sure I'm not missing anything. One thing people have mentioned is more specific topics. Another suggestion was breakout rooms to deal with specific topics, to send polls out ahead, and in particular to avoid using Google polls if possible because not everybody has a Google account. To send those questions that have been assembled and any presentations that people are making out ahead of time in written form so people have a chance to read them and reflect on them before the session itself. Is there anything I'm missing or anything people would like to add before we close this session?
I'd just like to say that the next writers group will probably be in July, and we have to come up with a date. I'll be sending people, queries about what dates, maybe a poll about what date's good for you. And it'll be like sharing your work and feedback, and then maybe we can do one, I don't know, August or September on a specific topic if you want.
So Mitch put in the chat, sorry I got into marketing when the focus was elsewhere. And I'd like to respond to that and say, actually, I think your comments were helpful because it sensitized people to the fact that when they're doing all these other things, marketing should be in the back of their minds. So I appreciated that input. So are there any other last comments or thoughts or reflections before we close this session?
I appreciate all the newcomers here.
Indeed. Indeed.
To Chuck for inviting me.
Yay.
Thank you all.
I'm impressed.
Check your email boxes.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for bringing your questions and your rich experience to this discussion. I think having this range of experience and perspectives has been very helpful.
It's so nice to see everybody. I mean, it used to be like
Bye-bye.
we only had meetings like for people in a certain area that could like travel 2 or 3 hours, but it's really nice to be able to be a little see people from across the country.
It's also
Vaya con Dios.
And we've recorded this, so that will be also available. We'll have to put it on YouTube or something because.
Oh, well, I can send it to people.
Yeah, but I
send
think
it to our FQA list, I guess.
I think
make
if
sure
you-
that people are on, because not everybody on here right now might be an FQA member. So
Right. But I think if you leave it in the Zoom recordings, eventually those go away. So I think you need to take it someplace else like
yeah, we will.
YouTube.
Okay.
We can manage that, Gabby.
Yep.
Thanks, Gabby.
Gabby,
Thanks,
Gabby, it's being recorded on my computer, not on the cloud. So
Oh.
it's as long as I want
Okay.
to keep it.
So
thanks, Mike, because I don't like to run meetings, and Mike's been so gracious and great at running these writers meetings.
Yep, that's great.
It gives me heart palpitations.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Great meeting you all.
Great.
Glad you could join us.
Thank you.
I was trying to see if Mitch was still on. Thanks, Mike, for doing a great job.
Yeah, Mitch left a while
Gabby
ago.
and Alec and Bonnie and Anna and That was great. I think it was nice to see 25 people online. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Very nice.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Gabby.
Bye-bye. I'm not sure how to. So that was a success. And
Yeah,
now we have our work cut out for us. I tried to make a lot of good notes, but we'll see. And we'll probably email back and forth about what we want to do next, I guess.
I will save the recording and save the chat. And I don't know how to make it into a YouTube. I don't know that Zoom does a very good YouTube. But I will send the link to everybody. I got everybody's name and email address, and I think I have email addresses for most people. So I can send everyone the link to it, and I'll just leave it on my hard drive for, I don't know, a month or so till I need the space.
Well, you can't send a link to it on your hard drive.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
She's saying she can.
I've done it
Okay.
lots of times.
Okay.
Well, then maybe you can teach Mike something. He doesn't know. You never know.
That would be wonderful.
All right.
I create the file and then I make a link to that file. And then I give people permission to view it.
And you leave your computer on all the time.
No, my computer does not have to be on for people to access it. I don't think. But my computer's on all day anyway, so.
People cannot access something on a device which is
If it's
turned
not
off.
on. Yeah, that's true. Well, I recorded
It's
it.
a little more techie than I'm used to.
It's recorded on my computer, so we can do something else with it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I've got it.
All right. Very good.
All right. Well, you people have a good rest of the weekend, okay?
Yeah.
It's not letting me get off here, so I guess we're going to be on here all weekend, but that's okay.
I think AI is a good topic.
AI is a great topic. I mean, personally, like writing my book, I only have been basically you have to like give it a good prompt. You have to be like, I only want 3 suggestions as far as grammar or repetitions, or because otherwise it'll try to write your whole thing.
Yeah.
And that I don't feel good about, but I do feel okay if it takes one sentence of mine and makes it flow a little better. But that's a whole different subject, you know?
Yeah.
That's a big subject. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to close the meeting because I have to run to the drugstore and get something for a friend of mine who is dying.
Oh,
and I told her when we
that's
finished
important.
this, I would go to the
Better do that.
store and get
Yeah.
it. So,
And love to your bees.
oh, my bees are wonderful. I spent
Aw,
3
look at
hours
her
this
smile
morning
about
with
her
my
bees.
Yeah.
Nice.
My friend who is dying is my beekeeper partner. So, you know,
Oh
the
no.
beekeeper tradition is that you have to tell the bees when the beekeeper has died. So this morning I told the bees that Kathleen would not be back.
Oh no.
Thank you for
Oh,
hosting,
Bonnie. Well, I
Bonnie.
hope you give her a little bit of peace with
Yeah.
picking
Yeah.
up her medicine that makes her feel more comfortable, hopefully.
Yeah, hospice is sending stuff this afternoon too. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay,
But
well, much love with that.
much love to you guys.
You too.
Okay.
Thank
See
you
you
for
next
hosting
time.
and thank you, Mike, for running. I really mean that. You do a stupendous job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy honing people in and getting, and I think people got something out of it. Look, we had 25 people. That tells you that these subjects, specific subjects, I'd love to do the sharing and the feedback. That's important, but I think these specific subjects might draw people too.
Yeah.
And it's a different crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. We had like 10 new people.
And each topic would draw a different crowd.
Yeah. Because we have like now on a FQA membership is It's like 160, I think, something like that. It's really going up.
Yeah.
It's really gone up in the last like year and a half. So this is a part of it.
Okay.
All right.
Doris, we'll be
Bye.
in touch with a timing for the next writers meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You know you'll get emails from me.
Oh
And,
yeah. I know.
Doris,
Just ignore them if it's too much.
I'll be in touch with you with alternative survey services than Google.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm all for that. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, Bonnie. Bye, Mike.
Thanks again.